Hello and welcome all the Web3 enthusiasts. It's Max speaking, and we at Synopsis keep on bringing the whales of the industry for you guys to know more about the leading projects. Today, I'm excited to host an interview with the CEO of Bitget Exchange, Gracy Chen. Gracy, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. And I love that hoodie on you.
Yeah, it's just showing my respect to what you guys at Bitget are doing, and I'm actually a big fan and an active user of your exchange. So let's not waste time and get our interview going and follow the list of questions I prepared for today. Hopefully it will be insightful and interesting for our audience. Let's begin. And of course, first off, our congratulations to you on your new position. We at Synopsis first met you 2 years ago when you just joined the Bitget. What was the business unit you oversaw previously as a managing director, and was the new appointment unexpected for you? What do you feel about the new scope of the work and responsibility? Such a bunch of questions to begin with.
No problem. Yeah, so I'm glad that we met very early. And when I joined the firm 2 years ago, we only had 150 employees in the company. Right now, we have 1,500 talents working for the firm. So 10 times the size in terms of employee number, 4 to 5 times the revenue that we had. Or the trading volume in general. So, and that's the sort of achievement we had for the past 2 years. For myself, I joined the company mainly doing marketing and managing the marketing team, branding, increase our global presence and stronger engagement with the community. But as the new CEO of the company, my role sort of expanded much more from more of just marketing and global expansion to also managing the listing team, the asset acquisition, and also lots of conversations with our key partners such as market makers, different projects, etc. And of course, work around our partnerships with some bigger projects, including earning and staking. But depends on what does the project do and how we can partner around that ecosystem fund, etc. So even Bitget card, that's something we issue to slightly right now a small group of people, including our influencers and our VIP clients, but we're planning to do it more for our retail users as well. Yeah, so fiat channel, etc. Like a lot of different things. I'm more involved now. Yeah, but I loved working with Bitget. Otherwise, I won't accept this role. And I think right now, work is a little bit overwhelming. Of course, as you can expect, there are so many things that I'm also learning while doing or managing the team. But at the same time, I think I love those challenge, and I'm especially looking forward to bringing more uniquely valuable assets to Bitget platform and to Bitget users. So I'm working hard on increasing our spot market.
Well, thank you. So regarding your marketing job that was done in previous years, I can just applaud you because everywhere you go, be it internet or physical events or whatever, Bitget was presented everywhere. So that's very great achievement and a great job done, and it makes an impression of a really sustainable platform. So you just can admire this great job done. And okay, let's move on to the next question, and would like to know what is your management strategy and focus as a CEO of Bitget going forward?
Yeah, sure. So we I talked about that slightly briefly. So actually earlier this year, I established 3 focal points for Bitget in 2024. in an open letter that I wrote as the managing director, which are compliance, emerging market, and Web3. I would love to just adding 2 more points on that, which we've been working on already since the start of this year, or even since last year. That the 2 points I want to add is number one, how can we link the traditional finance and crypto, especially with spot crypto ETFs such as Bitcoin ETF or Ethereum ETF receiving more approvals. I mean, spot ETF of Bitcoin, it's approved, it's listed January 10th this year. I think they had the approval by the US SEC. Ethereum spot ETF is not fully listed, but we think a few weeks ago when they approved the industrial standard, kind of sending a signal that at least the US SEC doesn't think that that Ethereum is a security, and a proof of POW versus POR, right? Like the POS that stake has, proof of stake that Ethereum has, is also not an issue. So all these major institutions, regulators becoming clearer with more institutions and retail users to enter the market and to add crypto into their portfolio. And we think linking TradFi in crypto is gonna be important. For example, again, Bitget card is one way that we do that. So this is the first point that I want to add. A second point that I want to add is about growing the spot market. What I mean by that is actually Bitget is relatively strong in derivative than in spot, since our starting point 6 years ago, we started 6 years ago, but I think our derivative market kind of started to grow 4 years ago. And if you look at, for example, CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko kind of ranking, we're typically top 5 in derivative market, top 10 in spot market. The spot market users profile are slightly different from the derivative users, and we want to capture both. Just like human being, you don't want to have a long leg on one side and shorter leg on the other side. We want to make sure that this shorter leg can grow long enough and to support the exchange in the long run. So my focus as the CEO is largely about how to increase our spot market. And how do we do that? It's going back to a lot of fundamental things that we're working on, like how to list better projects, how to find more good quality, A-level or even stronger projects for Launchpad and Launchpool, how to give our users a better product experience. Of course, how to do regional growth, how to work with our regional team, for example, in the region that you are familiar with, CIS team, like all these regions that we have lots of interest in, and we think there are a lot of opportunities for growth. So increasing spot market is another major role that I have as the CEO.
I see. So you have a clear structure of these 5 points, and I like that you mentioned that one of them is about including traditional financial markets and working with it, and it's actually one of the big topics I wanted to discuss today. So could you tell us more about Bitget's effort on inclusivity and crypto adoption?
So in terms of, I would say, okay, inclusivity and crypto adoption are probably 2 things. So let's talk about inclusivity first. For inclusivity, largely because I myself is a female leader in the space, and I've been having interest about integrating gender diversity and ensuring there are equal access in our industry in terms of the gender ratio. So I started a project, like actually this year, called Blockchain for Her. And this is a nonprofit initiative that we have. We spent 10 million USDT to aiming to elevate, empower, educate, and embrace a more female-friendly blockchain space. Another initiative that we were working on, and we are still working on, but we started earlier, like last year, which is called Blockchain for Youth. So these two initiatives are my major milestones, or I would say projects that we're working on in order to bring more inclusivity, diversity to the industry by empowering blockchain for youth, for like young talents educational program where we I think we did more than 20 or 30 lectures around the world in different universities, and then blockchain for her, which is especially to support the female founders and female VCs, etc., in the space. So that's more about inclusivity. And then mass adoption, I would say, first of all, Bitget Card is one initiative that we had. I myself is a user. Let me see if I can find my Bitget Card, which is really cool. So wherever Visa is available or is accepted, this card can be used. So that's my Bitget Visa card. Not sure if you can see clearly.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah. So mass adoption. We think in the future, in order to have a crypto more accepted for mass adoption, small things like this is very important, because we need to integrate crypto into our daily life, and use it as a real currency rather than just stay holding some stable coin or buy some Bitcoin. You being able to enable that is important, and it's also one of our strategies coming forward.
That's great. And so actually I was aware of these of your initiatives, and I just admire what you do. So many directions you keep for the development. Yeah, that's really worth admiring. And it's really interesting, I think, for mass adoption. Okay, let's move on. And could you tell us your opinion on does the inclusion of the large traditional financial institutions into crypto make the Web3 industry slower and lazier, or more resourceful and ready for innovations and new breakthroughs? So you, as a real innovator, should tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I think the large traditional financial industry into crypto wouldn't really make us slower or lazier. I think they are more positively into the integration rather than negativity. Of course, people may say, Bitcoin spot ETF, for example, attract a lot of more users from, for example, centralized exchange, which is not true. Like according to the data that we see with the spot ETF approved, we don't see a loss of customers, because I think largely because like at least for Bitget, we are targeting different users. I'm not sure if that's the truth. That's true also for example, some US-based exchanges such as Coinbase. There might be users who are transferring their money from exchange to BTC spot ETF, but for us, it's not really affecting our business. That's one thing, Again, I would attribute that to the fact that we are serving different users. A lot of users going to centralized exchange to buy cryptocurrency, especially like altcoins. But spot ETF is just Bitcoin right now. Maybe Ethereum coming up, maybe a few more, like I'm guessing, Solana, Doge, some meme coin might be the upcoming ETFs, but still now it's a very limited group of cryptocurrency that it's looking at. So yeah, in general, we think the large traditional financial industry should bring more resource. And if you look at Bitcoin price right now, I think in the short run, the Bitcoin price is largely affected by the spot ETFs inflow and outflow. But in the long run, it's also largely affected by the US interest rate, the monetary and fiscal policy, like especially, for example, when the US interest rate goes down. And this is like, I made this analogy a lot, which is like a different sets of swimming pools. When the large pool, which is, for example, the US bond market, monetary market, when there are money going out, or there are water in the swimming pool pulling out, and then it goes to smaller pools such as the equity market, even smaller one such as the crypto market, and that affects the price of Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency price in general in our industry a lot. So it's right now the crypto world is already highly connected with the traditional financial industry. But going back to your question, if we're talking about innovations and new breakthroughs, I would say still it's about the builders in our space. I do think the entry of traditional financial industry or institutions are actually bringing more innovations and bringing more builders, bringing more investors in the space, which should be encouraged. But whether we have more breakthroughs, it's still, we need to look at the entrepreneurs, the investors in the space. What are you backing up? Altcoin price is not moving up right now. It's actually going down a lot for the past few months. However, altcoin price shouldn't be the only reason affecting innovation, and actually should not be the reason affecting innovation at all. Because price is price, but innovation need to happen ahead of time, and we want to see more projects coming up. Like, for example, from the listing point of view, I do want to encourage more projects who are ready. You should consider later this year as a good listing time, because at least I personally still think we are just in between of a bull market, and this bull market should continue for maybe another year.
Okay, thank you. So actually, we are planning our next talk with the expert in listing, and I think it will be interesting to know his opinion about listing now, how it correlates with your idea regarding the listing time for now, that it's good. And regarding the next question, we've already touched this topic, but still, what are the emerging industry trends and narratives you are currently noticing?
So in terms of trend, I think there are a few more. So for example, some ecosystem have been growing especially a lot. For example, Tong ecosystem. I've been in conversation with the Tong Foundation CEO, COO, and their key team members a lot, because the Tong TVL has been growing really fast. If you look at the numbers, April this year, their TVL is just 100 mil, and right now they had about 600 mil in terms of TVL, 600 million USDT I'm talking about. And that's 5 to 6 times in 2 months, and that's largely, in our opinion, attribute to liquid staking projects, Tong Staker, and new assets such as Notcoin, and even Tether. Like, if you look at some details, like Tong USDT is a popular pair listed on exchange, and like the USDT issued on Tong chain is actually half a billion already, and it's Tong becomes the 6th largest USDT mainnet, which is only smaller than Tron, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, and Omni. All these mainnets have been around for many years, but Tom is much newer. So this is one trend that we see. If you have a pretty good user base and an active TVL, active wallet address such as Tom, then we are paying attention and we want to make sure we kind of participate in that growth. So we started an ecosystem fund with Tom. I think the announcement should be out when your video is out, but it's actually not out yet. In a PR release. But yeah, so these are some important ecosystem we're looking at. Then in terms of innovation, I actually think, you know, there are some undervalued or so-called underrated narrative that people are ignoring. For example, GameFi. Because GameFi has been, you know, so popular for the past few years, and there were some games who promised a lot but did not deliver the result, and people thought, you know, gaming industry is probably going nowhere, and not a lot of people are interested in gaming or in investing in gaming projects, which I think is probably underrated. The reason being, you know, in my opinion, lots of innovations are happening, even on the older projects, like for example, Step N. It's a run to earn kind of project, kind of social-fi project. You know, they have some good IPs and plans ahead, and they are building something. And then there are also new games coming up. I see more and more Web2 gaming veterans entering Web3 space, which is great because they know how to grow the market. They know how to make an engaging game that people will love. And when I say game, it's not just, you know, some shooting game, some sort of you know, small games. It's also a very diversified kind of categories of game that I kind of see. For example, there were this project called Sleepless.ai that Foresight Venture, which is a VC that we work closely with, invested in. They're angel investor. What Sleepless.ai does is actually provide so-called the Web3 or the virtual boyfriend and girlfriend to the industry. So games like this, I think, are very interesting because, you know, they are implementing AI to support the more and more lonely society that we have. They have the interesting tokenomics and NFTs, etc. Even the game is not fully launched, there are a lot of users interested in that game or narrative already, including myself. Yeah, so I think and you know, gaming is one. Gaming, DPing, here are some these are some two sectors that I myself make some investment to, and I find them very interesting, and I love to try out different DPing and AI gaming sort of projects.
Well, thank you. That's for sure, I would say, one of the most detailed answers for the question regarding narratives and trends I've ever came around during all our interviews. Thank you very much. It's really insightful. And since you mentioned your investment interest, let's put the last question, and it's, where do you store your crypto?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the short run, my crypto are mainly stored at centralized exchange, especially Bitget, because I know it's safe, and it's also easier for me to invest in some altcoins or just Bitcoin. For example, I bought some Bitcoin yesterday when the price went down. So buy a dip rather than sell a dip. I keep those money, you know, flexible at centralized exchange. and also use decentralized wallets, for example, MetaMask or Bitget wallet. Because there are certain altcoins that I may not be able to buy as interest exchange. For example, at Bitget, we only have listed about 800 tokens, but there are still smaller ones that are not listed, so that I can use decentralized wallet to do swap, to stake my assets, to do on-chain transaction directly, or even to buy NFT. So that's when I use the decentralized wallet. Then for the longer term kind of storage, I use cold wallets such as Ledger or Trezor, because as the Web3 leader or industrialist, I also like to accumulate BTC. So whenever I buy some BTC that I know I'm gonna hold for the long run, that's when I will store them into some cold wallets. So be a value investor, be a friend of time, do some long run investment, because I think Bitcoin or Ethereum, especially Bitcoin, I'm still a very traditional person, I would say, when it goes to investment. Yeah, I hold a lot of Bitcoins, and I put them into cold wallet in order to just hold it for the long run.
Well, thank you. That's I think very important idea, which many newcomers and even not newcomers on the industry should keep in mind, that you should diversify not only your assets but the way you store it as well, and to find different approaches and platforms for different goals. So thank you. And actually, what the questions were done for today. It was very interesting. And to finish it up, maybe you can share some advice for the audience, especially for the newcomers, but again as well for the pioneers also. Something you can tell us.
Sure. I would say two. Number one is be a long-term builder and long-term holder, especially at this current market, like in the recent days, when Bitcoin goes around 65K. I think that's a good time to enter and hold it for the long run. We think at least next year should continue being the bull market. And you can do some dollar cost averaging. I've been talking about dollar cost averaging, I think, for the past 2-3 years. Yeah, I hope I told your audience last time as well when we had the interview when I just joined Bitget, because that's the best time to buy, right? For 2022, the Bitcoin price has been fluctuating around 20K to slightly more than that, maybe 40K in the earlier year. But again, the past 2 years have been great. If you are doing dollar cost averaging, your portfolio should gain a lot already at this moment. But if you haven't done so, I think right now, maybe not dollar cost averaging too much, but just buy at the dip. Whenever it's 65K, I think it's a pretty good price point. And if we look at 1 or 2 years timetable, the reason I don't, but I mean, continue buying, continue holding, that's the key thing. Whether you want to do dollar cost averaging or you want to buy in a lump sum, I think both work. But make some more investment, be a long-term holder. And another advice I would give is study more. What I mean by that is Bitcoin or Ethereum, the cryptocurrency has been an industry that is growing dramatically every day. Even as a CEO, I also, like I said, learn a lot on a daily basis. Learn the new narratives, learn the new projects, learn the new trends, and observe its growth. So as a newcomer, read more. You can subscribe to my account on Twitter Space. I make some Twitter Space, and I send a lot of information about Bitget, about what we do, and about personal and financial advice. Not necessarily financial advice, but more of like, some personal growth tips where you can learn and hopefully, we can grow together.
Well, thank you. So guys, be patient, keep learning, and subscribe to Grace's Twitter, X, sorry. Yeah, and that was a great interview. Thank you very much, Gracie, for your time. Looking forward to meeting you at our new episodes, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Max. Very nice meeting you.
And of course, thank you all guys for watching us till the end. Stay tuned, subscribe to Bitget, subscribe to Synopsis, subscribe to Gracie's X once again, and have a great night, whatever you have in your region. Bye-bye.